I will show it to you. We have all seen it at some point. That guy who stops in front of the establishment with the luxury BMW and looks as if he has just stepped off his private jet. But in fact, it doesn't look like it is. This driver might have $40 in his bank account. Think about that. Your colleague's expensive bag probably costs more than all of her savings. That person at the bar bragging about their huge portfolio almost certainly has more credit card debt than real investments and savings. And the influencer who shows a luxurious and inaccessible life, believe me, I didn't know either, but many of them are months behind on rent. Recently, a study proved that almost half of Americans with credit cards carry a balance from month to month, and yet sales of luxury cars do not subside, they increase. The revenues of popular brands are also increasing. The gap between what people actually have and what they are willing to spend has never been larger. Welcome to the age of the fake rich. Americans are already in debt by $1.28 trillion on credit cards. The average family possesses debt over $100,000. And yet, parking lots are full of luxury cars, malls are full of designer bags, and social networks are full of people demonstrating wealth they don't actually have. Something doesn't add up, right? Here is what is actually happening. A huge number of people have figured out how to look rich while being completely broke. They have mastered the vision of success without building anything beneath it. But true wealth whispers quietly. Fake wealth screams loudly. Once you learn the signs and symbols of wealth, you will start to notice the fake rich. And more importantly, you will avoid becoming such a rich person. Because these models don't just look stupid and fake. They actively destroy your chance of becoming truly wealthy. Let's break down the 10 signs that someone is just pretending. First is the sign of entry-level luxury. This is when someone buys the cheapest model of the most expensive brand. The base model, BMW. The Gucci belt with the huge logo, the cheapest Louis Vuitton bag. They want the brand, not the quality. Walk through any parking lot and you will notice it immediately. A base Mercedes with manual seats and no navigation. These cars exist because manufacturers know that people want the brand on the hood more than the driving itself. And here is what's interesting. A fully equipped Honda Accord costs as much as a base luxury sedan. The Honda has better features, is more comfortable, and is cheaper to maintain. But the person chasing an image in society doesn't want a Honda. He wants people to see the Mercedes emblem. And the math becomes brutal because this cheap Mercedes still requires expensive fuel, expensive insurance, and expensive parts. The fake rich person spends 20 to 30% of their income to look rich, while the really wealthy spend barely 2 to 5% on similar expenses. This difference, invested over years, turns into hundreds of thousands of dollars. The second sign is constant talk about money. Start watching the person who doesn't stop directing every conversation toward income, deals, or investments. You could be talking about a pizza topping and he will find a way to say, "Oh yeah, I used to eat that before I started making real money." They constantly mention how much they spend and earn, but notice that they always talk in the future tense. Next month I'm closing a huge deal. When this investment pays off, everything changes. Until the money is in your portfolio, it doesn't exist. But the fake rich person talks about future projects that haven't happened yet because his reality now is not impressive. The third sign is the most frightening. A branded product that costs more than everything in their bank account. A $5,000 bag in the hands of someone with a $2,000 portfolio. This is an accessory for success that hasn't arrived yet. There is an old rule: if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it at all. If a purchase wipes out your income for 3 months, that's not wealth. That is dangerous living above your means. I have seen people paying off designer bags on installments. They pay interest for an object that loses value immediately. By the time they pay it off, they've given 30% extra for something that is already worth less than the original sum they paid. The fourth sign is the eternal competitor. Whatever you have done, they have done it better than you. You bought a car? Theirs is faster and shinier. You went on vacation? They were in business class on a plane to France. At a party, someone shares that they paid off their first apartment, and this guy immediately jumps in. Great, but you should have waited for a bigger one. Small ones don't increase in price. This stems from huge insecurity. Successful people are happy for others, while those who pretend to be rich are scared of any success that isn't theirs. The fifth sign is social image. If someone's money is real, they have no need to present every cash receipt to strangers and the internet. But for the fake rich, success exists only if it is backed by approval. Here is the nasty reality. Showing off brings more engagement than discipline. A video, "Spend $1,000 with me," is more interesting than "Watch me deposit $1,000 into my savings account." Social networks show the crazy stuff, not reality. But these people want you to believe that this is their daily life. The sixth sign is leasing expensive cars. This became so normal that people don't see it as a dangerous deal. On a lease, you pay for the most expensive period of the car's life, and in the end, you return it. After 20 years of paying leases, you have given away hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you own exactly zero because it has depreciated. Leasing allows people to have a monthly installment for a car they otherwise cannot buy or afford. This is for image, not for ownership, for something they cannot possess. The seventh sign is fakes. If someone wears fake branded goods, they are literally showing that they are pretending to be rich. The irony is that good replicas are not cheap. They cost $200 to $300. For the same money, you could buy a great high-quality original bag from a less famous brand. But they don't want quality. They want the logo. They prefer a poorly made lie over a well-made truth. The eighth sign is get-rich-quick schemes. They constantly talk about forex, dropshipping, crypto, or some revolutionary system. This allows them to live in the future. 6 months later, they have lost money, but they never mention it and have already jumped into the next huge opportunity. Real wealth is built slowly and boringly, but slow and boring doesn't fit their fake image. The ninth sign is condescending financial advice. They actively criticize your decisions. For example, why you drive an old car, why you don't invest in their thing. They need to justify their bad decisions by making you feel bad about your sensible ones. And finally, the 10th sign is overdoing it. Too many logos, too much jewelry, too much perfume. Look at photos of real billionaires on an ordinary day. Mark Zuckerberg is in a grey t-shirt. Warren Buffett drives an old car. They have nothing to prove. When every object of yours screams, "I am rich," it sounds desperate. The truth is that fake wealth is an expensive and exhausting performance that leaves you poorer than you started. The rich create their lives for themselves, while the fake rich do it for other people's eyes and image. The goal is not to look rich, but to be rich. One path leads to financial freedom and peace, the other to bankruptcy in a shiny package. Choose wisely and sensibly.